Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. The main ingredient is your girl Judy, and I wanted to get up on here today because something been pressing on my mind, and maybe it'll help somebody. I don't know. So earlier this morning, I was getting myself and my daughters ready for school, and more often than not, as of late, my youngest daughters, who are twins, either both of them or one of them is always like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. We're not learning nothing. The environment is this and that. I don't want to go. And what I've come to learn after listening, because apparently sometimes I don't be listening. Parents, listen to your kids. Listen to understand, to properly respond. Don't jump the gun and think you know what they finna say. Actually listen. So I'm like, how is school so this and that? You making A's and B's. You going to, those ceremonies to get recognition for, good things in school. What are you talking about? So they explained to me that it's like exhausting. It's a mentally exhausting place, because you just never know the kind of energy you're going to bump into concerning staff members, whether that be teachers, security, or whoever, or even students. And unfortunately, at the school that they go to, there be issues like you can't even just go to the bathroom. They got the bathrooms locked, which I know is illegal. You're not supposed to have a public bathroom lock at school. And then there are certain bathrooms, stalls are working, or people are like, some of these kids are sneaking in like these vape pens or whatever. And one of my kids is like extremely sensitive and allergic to like smoke, especially like weed smoke, hemp smoke, stuff like that. She'll have a really bad allergic reaction. And apparently she had a real bad allergic reaction yesterday, which prompted her today. So she tells me that she doesn't want to go to school. So I'm like, you have to do what you need to do to protect yourself. You need to wear a mask. And if you're having the reaction that you're telling me you're having, what does avoiding school like in its entirety going to do for you? And she's like, oh, well, they're not going to help me. They're not going to help me. They don't care, this, that, and everything else. And I say, why do you think they don't care? And she said, because with another incident that was much more minor, she went to a staff member to get like a Band-Aid or something. I think she went to the nurses to get a Band-Aid. The nurse there is very unhelpful and basically denied her, said we have limited, Band-Aids or whatever. You can have it, or, she's kind of brushing them off like whatever it is. Oh, she asked another time for like an ice pack or something because she had a mild reaction. And she was just, she had like a rash or something. She just knew an ice pack would help her, and she was just like, basically, I guess she gave it to her with some lip or something. So she's just like, these people don't care. They help you the way they want to, if they want to at all. And I'm like, well, just because you had a poor experience with something minor, in my opinion, is needing a Band-Aid, or even like an ice pack to just kind of calm down, like a brief little breakout. I said, if you had a bad reaction because you went to a bathroom where somebody had been smoking that vape pen or whatever, I said, did you tell somebody you needed help? Did you tell somebody? Because she told me, she panicked. She broke out her eyes and stuff, her eyes stuff began to water. She was coughing real bad, and she felt her throat closing up. I say, so you felt like you had labored and or restricted breathing and you didn't tell anybody? And she's like, the people don't care. They don't care. They're not trying to help me and this and that. And I said, did you tell somebody that you had labored or limited breathing, you needed a medic and or your mom called. Did you tell somebody? She's like, no, I asked them to let my big sister know. Like, I asked for my big sister. So I'm like, your big sister is not a medic. She don't have no oxygen to give you. She can't, or she can call your mama, but she can't call your mama. Let me know that according to you, you're having a medical emergency. And according to you, nobody cares and is doing anything, but you didn't care enough to let somebody know that you were in need. So, wrapping it up, I'm like, you can't accuse people of not caring about your needs and not providing resources when you didn't give the proper communication so they could properly service you. I said, you didn't tell anybody what you wanted. You asked for your big sister. They gave you your big sister. And even there was a point in time where she got around some staff member. I guess she was still coughing real bad or trying to catch herself. And she told me, one of her teachers asked her, hey, are you okay? And she's like, no, I'm fine. I said, this is what you told them, and this is what you told me in conversation. So you can't say you don't want to go to school, because nobody's going to help you if you have a flare-up, if you bump into one of the bathrooms, somebody done vaped, you having a reaction, you ask for your sister. You could complain if you let an official know that you're having labored breathing and or limited breathing. You need oxygen, you need a medic, ambulance, and to call your mom. Now, and then at that point, if they deny you, well, then we got a whole nother situation that we, have to tackle. But you weren't denied anything. You weren't denied help. You made an assumption based off previous experiences that were poor, but they weren't what I would consider a medical emergency. An ice pack ain't a medical emergency. A Band-Aid request is not a medical emergency. Should have been addressed and or addressed better when the request is made? Absolutely. But that's not a medical emergency. You in school can't breathe. This is what you're telling me. You're having labored breathing. You need a medic, right? So I said, when emergency situations take place, you can't be so caught up in a panic that you allow your thoroughness of thinking and your communication to be limited and or non-existent. I say in a medical emergency, you are responsible still to the best of your ability for advocating for yourself and telling people what is going on, properly communicating and letting them know what you want, what you need. You can't say somebody don't care and they not gonna help you and this and that when you didn't even give anybody a chance to be of service to you, to be a resource and or to provide the proper resource needed for you to get back to a state of comfort that was needed. And I told her, you're not wrong for panicking, you're not wrong for having a mental block all of a sudden, but you are wrong for saying, hey, you don't want to go to this school because you're not going to be serviced in the way that you would hope to be serviced in the event of a medical emergency when you never let anybody know that you were having a medical emergency. That's not fair. So I need you to think on that. And, she came to the conclusion, she felt bad. And she came to the conclusion that, she did panic. And some of her commentary even afterwards, because her twin was with her, and her twin reiterated, she's like, I told you, you were steady complaining when you were feeling the way you were feeling. And even I told you, how can I help you if I'm doing what I can, but I think you need to do X, Y, Z. She didn't even take the advice of her twin, who told her, you're complaining and I don't have what you need to properly help you. So if you're going to just complain and not ask for the help that you need, what do you want me to do? I can't do nothing. I can't help you. And she was like, I understand. That makes sense. And then I had to think to myself how many times that I may have unintentionally groomed her in that way. Because I remember having this conversation with the other twin more recently than not about something else. It wasn't a medical emergency, but it was something else that had to do with school. And I'm like, you can't sit here and be bent out of shape about what is taking place in your day to day when you haven't made anybody aware that could potentially be a resource to you. Based off previous experiences, you can't make the assumption that nobody cares and nobody wants to help you. And I say I may have unintentionally conditioned them in that way because I am definitely a person who will go through stuff and be having things are going awry, okay? And I be needing help. I'm not even gonna lie. And I don't be asking for help. And you know why I don't be asking for help? I don't ask for help because there have been times in my life where I have asked for help and or needed help, and people just sat back and watched me struggle and didn't mind, or they would, sparingly help me for their own ego boost. They would sparingly help me for their own ego boost, or sit back and not help me at all and snicker behind what they thought was behind my back like I didn't know and watch me struggle. There are people in my life that have willingly sat back and watched me struggle. People that I counted on, people that I thought at one point in my life had the best interest at heart for me as I did of them, because there have been so many times in my life I have been struggling. I had my own mess going on, like big mess, and I would go out of my way to help people because that's just the type of person I am. It made me feel good to help people when I could be a source and or a resource for others. I did it without thought because that's just the kind of heart and kind of person that I am. And these same people, they didn't reciprocate that. I had to learn the hard way. But at the same time, while I learned the hard way and I make different decisions concerning those people, I don't even deal with them no more. Their proximity to me is non-existent because I don't need that in my life. Nevertheless, I have now been the type of person who goes through things and I be needing help and I don't ask nobody. I be asking God. I be praying to God. And I just be going through because I'm just like, if something happen or don't happen, at least it can fall back on me at the end of the day. And in my mind, it makes more sense that I would take those chances and go against those odds than call myself asking somebody for help and then them, ultimately dropping the ball. But is that serving me? Is that serving me? I've been sitting here going back and forth with them. Like, this is the second time this thing came up. And I've been wrestling with this thing. And I said, I had to sit with myself and say, this is not serving me. This is not serving me personally so much that it's moved beyond just me, and it is affecting how my children, or my youngest at least, interact and don't interact with people when they actually need help. Like, you need help. You having a medical emergency, and because somebody's being funny before with a little band-aid, with a little ice pack, you just deem it, they don't care. All of them don't care. Don't nobody care. Girl, You can't breathe. This what you saying? You don't even care enough. You can't breathe. You don't even care enough to let somebody know you can't breathe. That's not on nobody else. That's on you. And then I had to look back and be like, man, that's on me. You be going through. I be going through. And stuff be happening. And I be fussing. And I be going through. I continue in that pattern. And it's not serving me. So what's the message here? The message is ask for help. Ask the right people for help. If you're not sure who the right person or persons is, the right resources are, pray about it. And then when God reveals that help, open your mouth and ask. Because you'll be going through, baby, you'll be going through something on a level unnecessary, and that could be avoided had you just opened your mouth and said what needed to be said, and then you could get the help. So that's what this little mess with my kid revealed to me. And it's the second time. Before, it was a situation, like I said, with my other twin. And now the other twin as of yesterday, and then roll over into this morning. I got to thinking, I'm like, I was saying some stuff to her, and I just like, I kept hearing, like, are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to yourself? Are you going to take the advice that you're giving your child? Because that is a reflection of you. She got that from you. And that just, it kind of blew my mind. It kind of made me mad. It kind of made me sad. And I'm like, I did that. But that was an accident. Like, that was unintentional. So ask for the help, y'all. Ask for help. Ask for help. Don't wait till things get detrimental in your life to ask for help. And if you're not sure who to get the help from, if you're a praying person like I am myself, then you best ask the Lord to help you, to highlight who to ask, to highlight that source or that resource, and get the help. Don't pray for the help and then not use it because you not sure how it's going to work. If you pray for it and God provide an answer, that's exactly what it's going to be. Don't get the answer and then second guess it like, oh my God, is it? Like, don't overthink. Get yourself together in your brain. Get yourself together in your mind. Don't overthink it. When you get the answer, execute. Don't just be sitting there and be like, well, what if this and what if that? Because I'm that type of person also. But nevertheless, ask for help. Not when things is going buck wild and out of control, but before. Ask for help. Get the help. Get the resources. Help yourself. Advocate for yourself by opening your mouth and letting the right individuals know what it is you need so that God can use them to help you. Okay? That's the message. Y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. I will see y'all in the next video. Before you leave, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. And if you know somebody that can use this message, please share. I'll see y'all later.